Let's talk about the word avatar. We use it all the time, right? It's your gaming character, your little profile picture, your digital stand-in. But what if I told you that simple word carries an ancient secret, a code that connects your online self to a story about gods, heroes, and the very fabric of the universe? I mean, think about it for a second. Every single time you fire up a game and design a character or even just pick a profile pic, you're doing something pretty powerful. You're sculpting a version of yourself, projecting an idea of who you are or who you want to be into the digital world. You do this all the time. You are a creator. And here's the kicker. That act of creating, of projecting a piece of yourself out into the world to act for you, that's not some newfangled internet thing. No way. It's a deeply human impulse with a history that goes back thousands of years. And its original meaning? Well, it's way more profound than you might think. Okay, so before we jump in our time machine, let's start on familiar ground. Let's talk about the avatar you know. In the world of gaming, on social media, what is that digital version of you really doing for your brain? It's actually doing a lot. I mean, it's way more than just a digital puppet. It's a vessel for what psychologists call the emotion of agency. That's that awesome feeling of being in control, of making things happen. It's also a projection of your ideal self, right? A chance to try on the person you'd like to be. And here's a big one. It lets you externalize your problems. Suddenly, your anxiety isn't just in your head, it's a dragon you can fight. It's a digital practice ground for becoming who you want to be. All right, so hang on to that idea of a practice ground, of projecting your ideal self, because now we're going to peel back the layers and find out where this word actually came from. We're leaving the digital realm and heading straight for the divine. And boom, here it is. The original Sanskrit word, Avatara. And its meaning is going to flip everything you thought you knew on its head. It doesn't mean something we project outwards. It means descent of a deity, a god coming downwards to us. So the original avatar wasn't a character we made up, but a god literally descending to earth. This table really puts it into perspective. Look at the difference. Our digital avatar, we created. Its purpose, to explore our story. Its driving force, our own personal will. But the ancient Vedic Avatara, it's a divine being who descends not to explore a story, but to restore a story that's gone off the rails. It's not about personal will, it's about cosmic will, a total inversion. And this quote from the Bhagavad Gita says it all. This is the god Vishnu, known as the preserver, speaking. He says, whenever dharma, which you can think of as cosmic order or righteousness, starts to fall apart, I incarnate to revive it. He's not coming down to play a game, he's the universe's ultimate troubleshooter, showing up to fix a critical bug in the system. So if a god is going to descend to fix the system, who needs that help? Well, to get that, we need to meet the perfect example of someone who does, a warrior named Arjuna. His biggest battle wasn't on some field of dirt and blood, it was right inside his own mind. Picture this. Arjuna is a great warrior, standing in his chariot, about to go into the biggest battle of his life. But when he looks across the battlefield, he sees his own cousins, his teachers, his family, and he just freezes. He is totally paralyzed by doubt, by grief, by confusion. He represents that struggling part of all of us when we're faced with an impossible choice, caught between our duty and our heart. And who's there to help him? His chariot driver, Krishna. But Krishna isn't just any driver. He reveals that he's an avatar of Vishnu. And here's the really beautiful part. Krishna isn't just some god talking at him. He's described as the inner ruler immortal, which is another way of saying he's that divine voice of wisdom that's already inside us, just waiting for the noise to quiet down so we can hear it. And by learning to listen to that inner divine voice, Arjuna's transformation is, well, just massive. He goes from total conflict and doubt to absolute clarity and action. He shifts from being attached to material things to a higher spiritual focus. All that inner turmoil is replaced by an understanding of his place in the cosmos, his divine inheritance. He basically gets his story back on track. So how did Krishna help him do that? It wasn't just a pep talk. He taught Arjuna to understand his own true nature. And this opens up an even bigger idea, that the universe itself is made up of fundamental roles or archetypes. So if we're gonna stick with our gaming analogy, think of it like the universe has its own character sheet, with 4 main classes you can play. And these roles, they're not just for gods. They're cosmic energies that flow through all of us. You've got the king, the warrior, the lover, and the magician. Each one is a different way of being, a different way of showing up in the world. So let's take a quick look at each one. First up, the king. This is the energy of order, of structure, of leadership. The king archetype is the great preserver, the one who maintains dharma or cosmic balance. Their goal isn't just to rule, but to protect and sustain the world, to make sure everything runs the way it's supposed to. Next, we have the warrior. Now, this is the archetype of action, of courage, and yeah, sometimes necessary destruction. But we're not talking about mindless chaos. Think of the warrior as the force that clears away what's old and broken to make room for something new. It's the energy that cuts through illusion and fights for a higher purpose. Then there's the lover. This one is all about connection, passion, and devotion. And what's so cool about this archetype is that it exists on a whole spectrum. On one end, you have kama, which is earthly, sensual pleasure. But on the other end, you have prema, which is this incredible, selfless, divine love. The lover's goal is simply to connect. And last but not least, the magician. This is the archetype of deep wisdom, of hidden knowledge, of transformation. The magician is like the architect of the cosmos, the one who understands the source code of reality. Their goal is to understand the subtle laws of the universe, and maybe even use them to create something new. Okay, wow. So we've gone from video games to ancient India to the fundamental building blocks of the cosmos. So let's bring it all home. How can all this ancient wisdom completely change the way we think about creating a simple digital avatar? Well, it gives us a brand new instruction manual. So next time you're in a character creator, think about it like this. Step 1, project your ideal self, but do it consciously. Need more courage in your life? Dial up your avatar's warrior energy. Need more stability? Tap into the king. Step 2, externalize the problem. Your challenges aren't flaws in you, they're just the next boss fight for your avatar. And step 3, reclaim authorship of your story. Use that digital world as a safe space to practice being the hero you want to be. So maybe we should reframe the whole thing. Maybe our avatar isn't just a projection from us. Maybe, just like that ancient Avatara, it's actually a descent of our own highest potential, coming down into a form that we can guide, that we can learn from. So the real question isn't just who your character is. The question this ancient code asks us today is, what part of your own greatest potential are you going to bring down into the world? Who will you become?